This is the brand new Specialized S-Works Venge, belonging to a man who needs little to no introduction, Mr. Peter Sagan of Bora Hansgrohe. Let's start with the frame then, shall we? Well, Sagan, he's opted for a size 56 centimetre. Now he stands at 1.84 m, which is just over 6 feet tall in old money. But what about this frame then? Well, it's over 200 grams lighter than its predecessor, the Venge Vias, and the fork, well, that saves 25 grams, which is certainly not to be sniffed at when, well, let's face it, riders will look at any way in which to save a little bit of weight on their bicycle. So we've talked about those little bits of weight savings, but apparently it's also more aerodynamic than that previous model too. So 8 seconds faster over a 40-kilometre time trial. Now, there are various different ways of looking at this. More aerodynamic, generally you add more weight, less weight, and you compromise the stiffness of a bike. However, in this case, they've managed to get the best of both worlds, both faster and lighter than that previous model. The seat post, well, that is specific to this model of frame, and there's a little hidden secret in there too. The saddle, well, that's Specialized Romin Evo, and that comes with the fact carbon rails there, just to save a little bit of weight. Talking about saving weight, let's move forward to this new bar and stem combination. Apparently, this is 107 grams lighter than the previous model. And I think that is still a lot of weight to be saving suddenly in one hit. Fair play to you, Specialized. The stem length is 145 millimeters long, which is certainly one of the longest stems we are going to see in the World Tour peloton. That's paired up to a pair of the Specialized carbon fibre aerodynamic shaped handlebars. They're 42 centimeters wide, and then fitted to the front plate of the stem is a really neat mount for Sagan's Wahoo Element Bolt GPS device. I think that probably ranks up there in the highest of all of my GPS mounting devices. Now, initially, I actually thought that it was fully internal cabled, the bars and stem. However, the cables do pop out of the handlebars just either side of the stem, and then are neatly tucked away on the underside of that stem. That's very nice indeed. The shifters then that are mounted onto these bars are the Shimano Dura Di2 9170. That means that they are, yep, you've guessed it, for disc brakes. So what is stopping this bike then? Well, of course, we've got ourselves some disc brakes. So the calipers, they're Shimano Dura Ace, and then the rotor size on the front up here, we've got a 160 millimeter, and on the rear, 140 mil. What about the wheels then? Well, we've got ourselves the Roval CLX50 Rapide, and they've got ceramic speed bearings inside of them. And the rear, well, that's fitted with ceramic speed bearings too, but it's also got the internal ratchet system from DT Swiss. Tyres wise, well, they are the Specialized S-Works Turbo Tubulars in a 26 millimeter width, both front and rear. Then let's move on to the actual gear setup, shall we? Well, we've got an 1128 cassette, which is pretty standard across all pros you're going to see out there, and that's paired up with the ever reliable Shimano Dura Ace Di2 9150 derailleurs, both front and rear. Chainset wise, well, he's opted for 54-42 rings, which is not the most common you see out there, but we do see them from time to time with the pros bikes. Power meter, it's that Specialized 4i license unit, both left and right. And then pedals, he's opted for Shimano Dura Ace 9100, which is slightly different to back at the Tour Down Under, where he had a different model of pedal on there. And those pedals, well, they are threaded into 172.5 millimeter cranks. Now those cranks, they actually turn on a threaded ceramic speed bottom bracket as opposed to a push fit or press fit. So for the traditionalists out there, you will absolutely love that. What about the paintwork then? Well, I've not even touched on that yet. There's a jade glittery effect you can see here, which is covered in clear coat, and then it goes into a matte finished grey. It looks absolutely beautiful, and at the time of filming, I'm one of the first people to actually see this bike, so I'm ultra lucky, I think there. Now on the top tube here, we do have the PS, of course, Peter Sagan initials, which is, again, I thought handwritten, but in fact it's not. It is actually underneath a little bit of clear coat. We've got all sorts of little slogans on the bike too. So on the seat tube, we've got, if I don't have yellow, I have green. If I don't have green, I have rainbow. And also underneath the bottom bracket here, just a cheeky little message of, we'll see. I don't know what we'll see, but hey, we will see indeed. Now, I did also mention there was something hidden in that seat post. That's where the Di2 junction box is. That is probably the best mounting I've ever seen of one. It's totally out of the way, totally hidden. The only thing I could think is if you had it on your bike and you had a trickster mate riding along, he could easily press that and start adjusting your gears. But all joking aside, that is absolutely beautiful. Also, little bits of paint have been used on the seat post clamp assembly, so ultimately they can see exactly where that is meant to be for Sagan's position. I think that's absolutely brilliant. I must also mention too, down here on the rear derailleur, where it's actually mounted onto the frame, it's using a hanger which is fitted within the dropout. So it's hard to explain, but you'll certainly be able to see that using the images on screen right now. On the inside of the chainstay here, on the drive side, we've got 2015, 2016 and 2017 all nicely detailed in there. Of course, that relating to Peter Sagan's World Championship victories. Also, on the down tube, we've got another mounting position for a water bottle cage. So if it is too long to reach down, or maybe you're uncomfortable doing that, you can just move the bottle cage up just slightly and then have a shorter reach for that bottle. I love attention to detail like that. A pair of Tax carbon fibre bottle cages, well, they're mounted onto those different options of where you want to drink from. And then finally, a K-edge chain catcher just mounted underneath the front derailleur there. What about the measurements then? Well, from the saddle to the centre of the bottom bracket, that's 76 centimetres. And then from the tip of the saddle to the centre of the bars, that's 62.5 centimetres. That is a big reach. And the drop from the saddle to the stem, that's 10 centimetres. Let's have a listen then to the free hub. And the weight of the bike, it comes in at 7.46 kilos. So there we are. I hope you've enjoyed this look at the brand new bike belonging to Peter Sagan. Personally, I think it's the best one he's had yet. I think these colours are absolutely fantastic. But as ever, I'd love to know what you think of it down there in the comment section down below. Is it too jazzy or is it spot on? Let me know. Now, do remember as well to like and share this video with your friends. Give it a big thumbs up because this is a beauty. Now, remember as well to check out the GCN shop at shop.globalcyclingnetwork.com, where we have a whole heap and array of goodies for you to choose from. And now for another great video, this time another pro bike, click just down here.